Central sulcus or the Rolandic fissure, no? Everything in front of that belongs to frontal lobe. Everything behind that belongs to parietal lobe. In front of that is the precentral gyrus, primary motor cortex. Now, this part of the motor cortex controls the face. Immediately in front of that would be the Broca's area. The Broca's area is composed of the pars triangularis, pars opercularis, and the pars orbitalis. So this will be the superior frontal gyrus here, superior frontal sulcus, inferior frontal sulcus, middle frontal gyrus, and this large part right here is the inferior frontal gyrus. Lateral sulcus or sylvian fissure. So this will be the temporal lobe down here. If I try to open this part, no, the deeply located and hidden gyrus right inside the sylvian fissure would be the insular cortex. So this part is the superior temporal gyrus, superior temporal sulcus, middle temporal gyrus, and this will be the middle temporal sulcus. No? This is the inferior temporal gyrus, and then we have the inferior temporal sulcus right there. This part is the hippocampal gyrus, and this part is the fusiform gyrus. No? All of them are a part of the temporal lobe. So this protuberance, no, is actually described in textbooks as hook shape. That one is the uncus. No? So when you hear of uncal herniation, this part moves down and is pushed beyond the tentorium cerebelli, and you can have nerves, no, in this area compressed, no, by the uncal herniation. If you try to follow the superior temporal gyrus right here, you reach this part. No? This part is would be the angular gyrus. No? This one right here. While this gyrus right here, that's known as the supra-marginal gyrus, which all of which are part of the temporal lobe. No? Marginal or angular rather, angular gyrus and the supramarginal, they belong to the inferior temporal lobule. No? We have the superior temporal lobule right there. No? And this one would be the post-central gyrus or the primary sensory cortex. No? In this part of the superior temporal gyrus, no, immediately below the post-central gyrus, no, the functional area located here is the primary auditory cortex. No? Below that will be the secondary auditory cortex. No? And in this area, no, large area, will be the Wernicke's or Wernicke's area of the brain. So this part right here, this still belongs to the parietal lobe. There's actually an incomplete sulcus here. Incomplete because it does not extend going in this area. So that is the parieto-occipital sulcus. No? It marks the division between occipital and parietal lobes. The primary sensory area is right here. Primary visual cortex, no, is right here. Secondary visual cortex will be in this area here. So let me bring in another specimen to show structure.